18 years later. They were married in London shortly after, and they have learned each other's accents quite well, and have recently added a thick Maine drawl to their repertoire. And this I gotta hear. Joe's like, Brooklyn, and Charlie's. So anyway, I hope they give us a little bit of that. So Sharon Pearl Brucey is a really talented filmmaker. She's presented at Pecha before, and she's met them early on when they first got here. And so she wrote a really wonderful letter to me about that. So here I quote, "Joe and Charlie are great friends and we love them dearly. In fact, I made a film where Charlie's voice has a co-starring role. She writes, she's got that voice. She's a radio star, formerly with Sirius XM Led Zeppelin channel, and recently with Joe on WMPG, Dining with the Duleys." So did anybody hear that program? Yes. So, okay. I gotta get the tapes. Joe is a talented writer, a radio talk show host, performer. You can see him on the web screen, though his face is better suited for... Oh, this is still Sharon's letter. Sorry, I'm going to change my voice. You can see him on the web screen, though his face is better suited for the radio, so my husband says, often. Look for Joe's blog and grill. Okay, now back to me. After living in a squash sweltering apartment in D.C., they decided to go Green Acres and move to Maine, where they dreamed of living in a house with those things sticking up out of the ground. You know, trees? And that's a quote from Joe. They've had a great run in Maine. Joe has learned the difference between a groundhog and a porcupine, the hard way. But pickings are slim here, and they're getting ready to re-urbanize and head to New York City. As sad as that may be, they did... they'll come back on weekends. You can make appointments. As sad as that may be, they did pick up something here that they're taking with them. It has 4 legs, a tail that wags, and seems puzzled and worried every time they put his poop in a little plastic bag. So here are Joe and Charlie Duley to introduce you to one of their favorite things.
Imagine rolling around in your own feces outside, urinating outdoors, humping legs. My wife had to endure that from me until we got our dog.
We want to introduce you to Courtney, also known as Bubby, who is the absolute love of our lives. And, we've got to move quicker though.
Oh, and this is me when I was a little kid in Philadelphia with King. He was the first dog I ever had, and again, we did the rolling around the feces, as you can see, from my attire, and I guess we stopped when I was about 8. That was King. I still remember that dog vividly, 30, 40 years later.
I was born into a family with already 2 sisters and 2 dogs, who I absolutely love dearly, the dogs more than the sisters. And I do remember Sophie was the smaller one, and I remember burying my face as a baby into her curly grey soft hair, and she was very patient.
This is me and my dog Max. You can see I have a little bit of a shiner there. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, but Max taught me a lot. He taught me how to defend myself. He was one of my best friends there. And we go way back, and we named him after Maxwell Silverhammer from the Beatles' Abbey Road album.
Now here comes the science bit. If you gaze into your dog's eyes, you will experience a spike in oxytocin, which is a natural calming influence, and will lower your blood pressure as well, so I highly recommend it.
But not Oxycontin. Don't do Oxycontin. You can see she's missing her body. This is me and the dog at the lake, and sometimes you can just share a moment and you don't have to say anything. And sometimes my wife and I look at our dog in awe. Aw.
The great thing about dogs also is that you can actually teach dogs new tricks, and our dog can brush her teeth. Seriously, and you can kiss her with lovely fresh minty breath, which we do all the time, of course.
But no tongues.
No tongues.
She doesn't have the thumb, so she can't flush. Oh, raining cats and dogs. One great thing that we love about our dogs, actually it's only 50%, it's only raining dog. The cats, they always get it wrong. No matter what, we have to get up every single morning to walk our dog. And walking our dog in the rain is kind of like a zen.
It also reminds me of London. And she also loves to be wrapped in a towel, which is a very good thing here in Maine during this past summer that we've had with all of this rain. And she has a very woolly coat that doesn't really dry very well, but she kind of likes to be wrapped in a towel.
And she was on the canine swim team doing the doggy paddle.
She's also a very good swimming coach. And she comes on family vacations with us, which is the other great thing about dogs as opposed to cats.
And we don't have to pay for college education, which is really good. Although putting a dog up at Camp Bauer, we could put her up at the Ritz-Carlton for the amount of money they charge. Sunrise with the dog, waking up every morning and looking at that beautiful furry face reminded me of my grandmother because she's Italian. But my dog, every single morning, my wife and I are greeted with our dog. Sunrise, it's beautiful, and this is on the lake.
And sunset. She loves the beach. And what better place than Maine to have a beach?
And actually, she is a beach. She's a female dog. And we say, hey, beach, what are you doing? And she does, she likes the beach, but she doesn't really like to swim all that much.
Which is a good thing. She does like to roll.
And here you could see she's doing that. The most simple things. Like I said, when Charly and I first started dating and mating, I did that quite a bit until she agreed to go out with me. But to watch the dogs just go out and have fun with a stick, rolling in the grass, it's like watching my Uncle Tommy Palmerini. Now, here they say, why buy a dog if you're going to bark yourself? I work out of home, I work on audiobooks, and my dog is my co-worker, and my wife is the Human Resources Department, the CFO, the COO, the CEO, which makes me the JOE. That's pretty much it.
This is the other great thing that she does. She loves to run in the snow. So if we each stand on one side of the house, she will basically trample a path. So it kind of means less shoveling for us, which is awesome.
And we do. We kind of entice her with treats, and my wife does the same thing with me with cans of beer. Our dog is a rescue dog, and she was working at a yo-yo factory in Dusseldorf in Germany. She barked with a German accent, pretending to be a shepherd, and she looks like an extra at Ellis Island from The Godfather.
I think you mean the dog father.
Dogfather, so you're correct.
The other great thing about our dog is that even though she was rescued, we did discover that her daddy's name was Dirty Harry. Now, very first evening that we sat down to watch TV with her, we turned on, it was Dirty Harry, right?
Yes.
And her ears perked up as soon as she heard Clint Eastwood's voice.
Do you feel lucky, pup?
Oh, here's the science bit. Did you know that dogs have sweat glands between their paws? Kind of weird. They also have cool blood vessels, an arrangement of blood vessels that keeps them from freezing in winter. And they have 40% larger part of their brain that deals with smell than a human.
Which is why we're not very good bloodhounds. Here, our dog can find a place to sleep anywhere, and we absolutely love her. She's got 2 beds. We only have 1. Now here, we are telling our dog a joke. This is a beautiful photo of our dog, and then we kind of say, if you're going to laugh, what is it? She who laughs last.
Laughs longest.
And here, I told a little limerick to the dog. There once was a pup from Nantucket.
Oh, you don't need to hear that.
Well, thank you very much.
Brilliant. Okay, one note. Joe will be appearing this Sunday morning, on Sunday morning, the CBS television show on Channel 13. On the Mo Rocca segment, is that right? Okay, what time is it? Watch the whole thing, okay. There was another thing that I didn't put in, but I thought it was really great, that Charlie's family, through the generations, were decorators for the royal family. And Joe's family were into thoroughbred horses, but on the bookie side.